Hi, welcome to my channel. You're gonna hear some stuff in the background because if you've been here a while or if you're new here, you've probably come here because you saw one of my highest viewed videos, which is that red versus neutral foundation, and I was here in this very kitchen with that very door. I'm wearing a black shirt. So today we're going to be doing just a talk through of all my base products, so foundation and concealers. I'm going to try to do this really quick because I don't have the most foundation in the world, but I definitely have a few. In my opinion, I've got quite a few. 10 foundations and 3 concealers. I really like base products. So the number will keep going because they get used really fast for me. Because sometimes I'll only put a base product on and nothing else. So it's really important that my base products have variety, not only in color, but in consistency and in wear and in how their finish. So let's start with, let's go by texture. Trouble. We're gonna start with all this. Is this all of them? Yeah. I really don't have as many as I thought I did. Like, I thought there was way more than this. Well, we're gonna start with the thing that sits all alone, actually. We're not gonna start with cream. We're gonna start with mousse. Which is my Black Radiance Mousse Foundation. It's in Mocha Latte. This one is Signature Black Radiance, very, very red. And not just red, it's a warm red. So, if that is your color, Black Radiance is the brand for you because they have everything. Almost everything is warm based. They have 1 or 2 yellow based kind of things, but everything's a warm red. So this mousse one, you actually don't really need that much. I use this one a lot in the summertime because of the simple fact that it's really, really light and it's not moisturizing at all. It's like as if you were to whip up a powder and make it make it like a foam. If you were to whip up a powder and make it into a foam, that's what it feels like. It gives medium coverage, I would say, and it is buildable, but the more you build it, the redder your skin becomes. Oh yeah, the finish. The finish of this is, it's kind of like a sateen. You should have seen it. In the red versus neutral, I use this one. And so it's kind of like a very smooth sateen finish. That's why I love this one. To me, the mousse foundation's strong point is how smooth it makes my skin look. Lasting power, however, isn't that strong. And I think it's because of the nature of what it's like, how it's made. It's a mousse, and I feel like it collapses. It collapses a little bit the longer you wear it in the day. Like when I wear it, I don't wear setting powder or setting spray with it. So if you add those things, or if you add like a very gripping primer, I think the result might change. Also, on a really cold day, if I have heavier skincare, like emollients underneath, this turns out really well because again, it acts more like a powder, so it kind of grips to the emollients. I think it would still be okay if you add some sort of mattifying primer before you put it on if you have really oily skin. But for oily to normal skin, I really like that. So, moving on, we're going to save all the liquids for last. So we're going to go into cream. And so then we have this one. This is a cream to powder foundation, so we're going to kind of go in that direction since we just left Mousse Land. But this is the third one I have bought. And although, let me tell you something. This is Q550, and for some reason, it used to be exactly my color. And when I bought this one, all the other ones I bought were in a black casing. When I bought this one, it was like this, in a purple casing. This is what seems to me the original casing for the Queen collection, because this is the casing my mother had. And I feel like this one, the store had an old case and they found it and put it out because this color was so strange. It was like not the way that it was supposed to be. I don't know how else to describe it except it was warmer than it was before. So, I mean, this is supposed to be the rich mink. It's not like the other rich minks that I've had in the black casing. That really concerned me, so I haven't actually been using it as much kind of made me upset. So I'm going to try to find another one in the black casing and then compare them to see if I'm tripping. Other than that, I really like the way CoverGirl goes. It's kind of like a very gripping foundation. And it also, I feel like it lasts a long time on my face with very good coverage. It's medium coverage that's semi-buildable, I believe. Like, I think it's buildable, but you won't want to build it. I really like it because I feel like it stays put. But it's one of those foundations where when you're putting it on, it's not going on the most comfortable in the world. But once it's on your face, you can kind of forget that it's there. But I really like it because of the finish. So the finish is kind of matte. Kind of matte. It's like a moisturized matte. You know what I mean? I really enjoy that. Just this coloring of this one is kind of throwing me off a bit. Now, moving on to two bona fide creams. They're sticks. So this one is Iman and this one is Makeup Revolution. The Makeup Revolution one is the greasiest formula I have ever experienced in my life. Now, it is not bad. If you have dry skin, this would be your drugstore jam. I'm assuming, because it's so greasy. It's just greasy, girl. Like, anyway, but it's a good color. It's also really kind of, it's got a very orange undertone, not red, orange, like, and that's fine with me because, you know, I like playing with undertones. It's cool, but it's just like, if you're not looking for that, it's orange. And this one's F15. I tried to match the concealer because I had the concealer first. I really love that concealer. It's great and the coloring is really neutral. I feel like it was more neutral to red, but this is just orange. But it's great. It's really thick as well. It kind of feels like clay. It's not bad, but it goes on terribly with a sponge. This foundation goes on best with a brush and not one of those stippling brushes, like a flat kind of palette brush, like the flat ones, the one you've seen me use it before. Warm it up on the back of my hand. Like, the color is right, but its undertones are just so strange. It goes on best with those kind of flat brushes that you kind of paint on your face like this. When I tried putting it on with those other things, I tried all those other things. I tried the flat foundation brush, the little stipple one. It was terrible. I tried the sponge. It was terrible. So the other stick is another cream stick, and it is Earth 6 Iman. I actually got the wrong color. I had Earth 5 in the compact, and you know, a lot, I want to say like 99% of Iman's foundations have golden undertones. So golden or olivey undertones. Now this one is very much olivey. Now the one that I used to have was a compact, second to none compact that I loved. I had two of those and then I just finished the second one, and then I didn't go back for the other one yet. It gives such a warm glow. Like, it's really, really pretty. But that's in Earth 5. And I could easily use Earth 6, but Earth 5 was okay. I'm going to try Earth 6 the next time I go back. I went up a shade in the stick because sometimes stick foundations and compact foundations, they're not the same. They don't match, like, line-wise. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just go darker. So I went up to a 6, and it was still too light. I need to pick Earth 7 because you can't open it in the store, so you can't see. So I'm thinking, okay, well, Earth 5 worked fine in the compact. Earth 6 should be like spot on. It's not. It matches my sister more than it matches me. It was just too light, but it was really nice. This one goes on best with a sponge, like a slightly damp sponge, because the stick itself is a little sturdier and a little drier. It's nowhere near as greasy as makeup formula. It's very, very sturdy, very dry, but the formula itself isn't dry, but it goes on feeling like a semi-dried clay mask. but when it's on there, it's very, very light. Coverage wise, it's pretty medium to full coverage. This one's very much full coverage, but like this one is like a medium to full coverage, and it goes on. You might find it hard to go on, but you should warm it up on the back of your hand and then use a wet sponge and then put it on. And the finish is really nice. The finish is kind of something in between sateen and matte, leaning a little bit more towards the matte side. Now we can move into liquids. Because it's so light, I usually pair it as the highlight portion of my face if I want to do some highlighting with this foundation. I love the way these look together. Anyway, this matte poreless. Now, my sister got me this, and I never had any Maybelline things before, but she saw this in the store and thought that I would like it, and I did. She got it for me in like the middle of summer, so it was like July or something like that, and it was the best thing to happen in the summertime because it's so matte. One, it just stays on your face all day long. It's literally like a second skin. And for someone who's oily, more oily like I am, it really helps control oil. Like a lot of these things don't really control oil, especially this guy right here. But this right here is the only other thing I could think of that would semi-control oil. Nothing else really controls oil. This does. And during the summer, of course, when I'm living my life properly, I get darker. So this shade was actually spot on, and I just use this as a little bit of highlight. Since then, they've come out with more colors in between. Actually, what I'm going to do is go for another shade. I'm going to get another 375 because it's important to have winter and summer shades because, you know, you don't want to feel awkward putting on your makeup and thinking, oh no. Because this one's more of a cool tone, however. To my surprise, I honestly feel like my undertones change with the seasons. I'm not trying to like be like annoying about it, but moving on. So yeah, that one's is very matte, very lightweight, and very good cool tone. Next one is this Farrah. This one was 109 Mocha. They had a 110 Espresso only after I ordered this one. It was there, but I did not see it. And that is the one I would definitely want to get. This one is more neutral, kind of gray undertone, and it's also way too light. So I usually end up mixing these two together, leaning heavily on this one with just a dollop or two of this one. But other than that, it is really good, except it gives this dry feeling around the nose. When I mixed these two together, it came out a lot better overall. So as an additive, it was really nice. But as its own foundation, it was okay because of the fact that I didn't expect much from it because I didn't know anything about it. And oil controlling, I would say it is oil controlling to a degree. Like when I first put it on, I have a whole video about that test. I don't wear it by itself anymore, that's for sure. Let's go here because this one I am in love with. This liquid foundation is, I don't know what else to call it except a holy grail. So this is Range Beauty. And this is in the color Bonfire. The bottom got all water damage. For a long time I wanted to buy this, but then she went on hiatus, and then she came back as Range Beauty because it used to be Skinny Dip. And then she came back as Range Beauty, and then I was still on the fence, not because of the product, but because I didn't know what color to get. Like I was reading all this. She gives really good descriptions, but I was getting confused because I just really wanted to see like a swatch on somebody my color, because if I can see the color then I can pick really well, but if someone just gives me a description for some reason it gets all muddled. So then I saw Coco swatches on Instagram. She did a swatch of the whole line, and on her I said Bonfire looks like it would be what I need. And I got it home and it was exact. It was exact and I love it. It goes on like really, really soft. It's got a skin-like finish, but like moisturized skin. Because some people have dry skin, some people have very oily skin. So it's skin-like if your skin was balanced and moisturized. That's the finish of this. It goes on the best to me with that palette brush that I was talking about earlier. You can put it on with a sponge and you can put it on with the circle one, but I feel like it goes on best with that flat foundation brush. Its formula is a bit thicker also, so it's very much possible to be full coverage really quickly. It's got a red undertone, and it's one of my favorite things right now. Like, it's like foolproof. I don't know what else to say about that, but it's amazing. So then moving on to another liquid is Stila. Stila? I call it Stila. And this is Espresso 15. Also very orange. It's fine though. It's orange, but it's okay. Not because of any reason except the fact that it really lasts all day. It really lasts all day. Although when you first put it on, it feels a bit uncomfortable because it's like a really sturdy liquid, and I think that's because it's an all day liquid. It's like these two, this Iman stick and this Stila foundation. They're kind of uncomfortable to put on, but I think that's the price you pay when you want something that won't move. Like, this will stay with you all day long without like breaking down and stuff like that. And the Stila is the same. Once it's on your face, it feels kind of like nothing's there. It's really lightweight. Also comes with a concealer on the top that I have yet to use. Then you don't need a lot to get decent coverage. You can put as much as you want, but I really like this foundation actually. I would buy it again, you know, once I run out. Oh, the finish. The finish is kind of matte, and I think that again goes in with the all day wear. It doesn't have time to be kind of too emollient, because if it's too emollient, it'll just slide off your face unless you have super dry skin. So if you have super dry skin, I don't know if you would like Stila that much, because it's not a moisturizing kind of foundation, but very much like a fiery red undertone, borderline orange. Like, for me, that's okay. This foundation, the Healthy Foundation by Physicians Formula, this is in DPN 3. I really like this foundation. This one, it's Deep Neutral 3. So it goes all the way up to Deep Neutral 4. I also feel like I bought this one online. I really do feel like it helps with my skin, like in general. Like, if my skin's been acting up for whatever reason, you give it a good clean, and then you want to just use this for a couple of days. It's almost like it's a medicated foundation. Not almost, I think it actually is a medicated foundation. It's got sunscreen in it, which I care about, but it's not like the biggest deal in the world. It's got hyaluronic acid to hydrate and even your skin tone. I haven't used it in a while, but I think it helped with my dark spots without changing my color. So I've already talked about this in another video, the difference between hyaluronic acid and hydroquinone. When it says brightening, it says brightening complex. It's not brightening as in lifting the pigment from your skin, but it will lift hyperpigmentation from your skin, but not... Because when people say lifting hyperpigmentation, a lot of people use that as their like justification for basically bleaching. But that's not what this is about. I don't want you to worry. That is not what I'm trying to push at all. This did not lighten my skin tone a single degree. My skin tone, as you can see, is exactly the same. The brightening complex is really just kind of like, you know how when you exfoliate your skin and you lift the dead skin off, and so your skin will appear newer, fresher, like that. And a lot of people use the same expression like brightening because, you know, you feel brighter. It's kind of like it's glowing. That's what that means. So it kind of helps with your skin, like with the dead skin, with moisturizing so that your skin looks more alive. And that's the brightening, okay? Getting rid of any like acne scarring and stuff like that. This does help with that. And if you use it on a regular basis, you will probably see better results, but I honestly think it does a good job in its own way. So the finish is very much like a satin matte, but like a very soft satin matte. And shake bottle before each use. I have not been doing that. Anyway, you don't have to be afraid of it because it's a brightening complex. It's not going to lighten your skin. I am the living proof, okay? So don't worry. It really is just going to help your complexion retain life. Pretty much medium to full coverage. It's not really that buildable, I don't think. Again, I've never tried to build this exact one. Since the wand's pretty big, I feel like it gives enough foundation to put on your face. It's very, very comfortable. And then for the last foundation, and possibly one of my very recent favorites, is e.l.f. My sister got this for me when she was in the store. She saw this color. It's espresso. It's completely pink in undertone, but it smells like baby powder. And it goes on. It's very much full coverage if you want it to be, but you can also put less on and then get like a medium coverage. It becomes matte. It dries down matte is what I mean. And it is so pretty. I love this foundation. I love this foundation. I'm a fan of e.l.f. as you can obviously tell because I have quite a few e.l.f. products, including one of their very beginning eyeshadows when like the eyeshadows were doing okay for me, but I don't think a lot of people would like them, but I like the character of them. Now they have new palettes that I actually do want to try, but this did not disappoint me. As an e.l.f. fan, this did not disappoint me. It's very pink in undertone, so if you're more yellow in undertone, you might end up looking a bit gray when you use these because I think they're all kind of pink in undertone. But if you're like a softer yellow, you could probably still get away with it. Because the thing is, my sister is yellow undertone and she also has one and she put it on and she didn't look gray. So, but she's also a softer yellow. She's not like 100% like buttery undertone, so that could be the reason why her foundation didn't look gray. Somebody else had it on, and I mean, when she was putting on her gray, when she was putting on this foundation, she was looking kind of gray. Come in. Oh, can you step in here and show people your face real quick? So you see how she's more yellow like that. If you're closer to her kind of warm yellow, thank you. That's enough. Thank you. If you're closer to her kind of yellow, then you won't have much concern with this being gray. But so, yes, this foundation has quickly become one of my favorites. So if you're a redder to neutral kind of undertone like me, this pink is so cute. It's the cutest thing in the world. It's a pump. It's also very lightweight. That's another foundation you can also forget is on your face. And let me just say, every single foundation I have here transfers like a bitch, except maybe this Stila. The Stila does not transfer as heavily as everything else. You know what? And this Maybelline doesn't transfer too much either. But everything else transfers like a mo. So that's all my foundations. Moving on to concealer. There's only 3. This is LA Girl Pro, and I already talked about in the last video I had. This is Dark Cocoa, my feelings about this and how gray it is. And I don't know, I've been tripping and it's always been gray, or this is a bad tube. I just realized it wasn't here. It was my NYX concealer that I was forced into getting but ended up really, really liking. Color Cappuccino. It's kind of red in this undertone, but it's perfect when I want to do under eye things, and recently I've been using it to do my eyebrows and I really liked how that turned out. Then there's Nicka K concealer in Brazilian Coffee, which was my old school jam. In the summertime when I don't want to put on any foundation, I just put on Nicka K. However, she's so greasy, so you have to powder. I used to use it to do my brows, but then only my brows would be greasy because I was like, I can't use this to use my brows anymore. This one is the Wet n Wild Dark Cocoa. Again, my sister got me this one because this is when I used to highlight my face. This is the best one I've had for highlighting my face. I used to use something ridiculous. It was Maybelline in Cafe. Was it Cafe? No. Yes. No. Yeah. Yes. It's so ashy. But like, I blended it really Alright, so anyway, like we all make the decisions that we've made. I'm not going to call it a mistake. Yeah, call it one. I'm going to... Fine, it was a mistake. But now that we have all learned, this one is so much better. One, I love Wet n Wild. Wet n Wild products will always get my money. I have not tried their foundation, however, and I want to give it a try, but I'm scared. I'm scared of disappointment. The concealer that I'm really into right now, it's in my bag, and I didn't want to bring it because then I have to get it back in the bag. It's the Black Radiance concealer for medium to dark, because it's just either light to medium or medium to dark. So the medium to dark, that one is very golden actually for Black Radiance. I love it. The corrected side is a little more orangey, kind of salmony, and then the concealer side is the one that's a little more like bright buttery. I love the way it looks with any of my foundations. I think it works out really nicely, and then it feels so nice on the skin. And then since it's the under eye actually will get drier, just like your eyelids and the rest of your face, probably because they're so thin. So I powder, but I usually powder really lightly under there, because my skin is oily. If you have drier skin, or if you have normal, what they call normal skin, because it's not oily or dry, then you might want to just skip powdering under your eye and stuff, because it's just going to dry it out, and that's how you get all the thing that people are afraid of, like the creping and stuff like that. My eyes have always had like chunks under there, so I'm not really concerned with that, but anyway, that Black Radiance one you do not need to set. You can if you want to, but you don't need to. It's amazing. And then that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope this was, I don't know, if you're similar to my color and you're looking for new foundations, and I hope this was kind of informative. Or at least just interesting to listen to. Bye.